Yo, I'm Mezzo. Welcome back to another On Head Effect stream. Got a really interesting one for you tonight. So, moving away from the standard arcane that I've kind of been championing, we have a very special Fire and Ice deck list, uh, an Iyslander list that specifically chooses to run Aether Wildfire in conjunction with Sigil of Permafrost. This list was invented by Alexander Vor, aka Unscathed, in the big Discord, as well as Kablamo185, aka David Spencer, IRL. Both of these guys have been putting a lot of innovation and thought process into this deck. Um, they took it to Worlds and saw pretty good success with it. And it's kind of exciting because it feels more like Wizard. The Wildfire plus the Sigil of Permafrost with one or two hexes out significantly extends your kill range into aggro. And so it can kind of catch some opponents really off guard, especially when they're starting to present a lot of AB1 or AB2, not AB3, as Bully becomes more and more popular, and people become more confident in their choice to present armor that blocks instead of Null Rune. I'm going to be relying on the Fabry deck list that's pinned in the big Discord channel, if you're familiar with that, which has all of the sideboarding done for us, courtesy of Kablamo. Thank you very much. And we're going to be putting this straight into Talishar and playing some games, seeing if we can Wildfire combo anybody out, and just in general evaluating how the deck feels. It is kind of a hybrid list, or a true hybrid list, in that in addition to the Wildfire, it's not playing Ice Bolt or Aether Hail, instead opting for Fyendal's Fighting Spirit and Wounded Bull to really push damage and tempo as you whittle your opponent down to the low 20s, high teens, at which point Wildfire starts to be a really dangerous combo piece. So let's copy this deck list and hop straight into Talishar. Go ahead and favorite it. Competitive CC, public, and create a new game. Oh, wrong button there. Perfect. Dromai off the bat. Gonna really? Okay. Sorry about that. Just a moment. So we're choosing Dromai as a sideboard. It's pretty nifty, the auto sideboarding, gotta admit. Mostly a FabDB deck user myself, or FabDB website user myself, which that feature is on the way, courtesy of Kirk, but I don't think it's quite published yet. Good luck and have fun to our opponent. Wildfire in the opening hand, kind of awkward, as well as a Weather Vane. Both of these are combo pieces that we want to see in the second cycle, not in the first. We do have two Wildfires, so we can block with this one here if necessary, though we'd really like to pitch it into that second cycle. So we might preserve it for now. Our opponent off to an incredible start here. But if they're going to attempt to fully attack, we're just going to give them our hand. Not sure what they think they're accomplishing here. I guess it stops us from filtering at all if we don't like to take any damage. Channel Frigid, an excellent card to start the game with. And then we get to arsenal this Ice Bolt and have a Sigil in hand. Seems not bad. Alternatively, we can put that Sigil on the bottom, start building towards a Hex kill in the second cycle. Probably still went to arsenal the Ice Bolt, as it is a damage spell, and our opponent is likely to try to play some dragons here pretty soon. let's stick with plan A, which is probably going to be the most resource efficient thing we can do on the next turn. Okay, so we're going to be opponent pitching 2 reds. We're going to be unable to kill this mirror guy. We can attack with Fighting Spirit on our next turn. And arsenal another Channel Lake Frigid. No, we can't do both of those things if we want to play the Ice Bolt this turn. So this is looking like Mirror Guy is going to resolve. And they're just choosing to end the turn. Okay, well that does change kind of what we want to do. We don't have 2 ice cards in hand, so the current channel is going to die. Which means that we do need to arsenal it, essentially. Sigil is fine to keep in hand, but not good. I think we want to pitch that away. I imagine our opponent sandbagging a blue here. I'm not sure why they wouldn't attack. It's kind of an awkward spot we're put in. But if our opponent's just choosing to not do anything, I don't know what we can do that clears this Ice Bolt and... Yeah, I think we're just going to go into our turn. Sandbag or Popper and like play this Ice Bolt, as disappointing as it is, plus Moon, pitching Permafrost and Brain Freeze, arsenaling the second Channel Lake Frigid. It's not a great turn. Opponent choosing to just take the damage. Interesting. Oof. Opponent is going to get a Kyloria attack here. This is awkward. And we have no ice cards for the Channel Lake Frigid. Not super thrilled with the start on this deck, to be honest. But these are some strange hands. So this is a Phantasmless Kyloria. And even if we block with the Fighting Spirit, we don't get the life gain trigger. Hello, Sergey, welcome. We've found ourselves in a sticky spot right off the bat. We need an ice card with our next 2 pitch cards for the... Yeah, we can't let this hit. Or can we? If we have 2 poppers, what does the next card really give them? Especially if we're not presenting Arcane this turn. A free dragon? What's the worst that could happen? Yeah, I did mention earlier, this list was built by 2 people as far as I know. Alexander Vor, who many know from PT1 top 8 with Kano, and let me just get the name right. David Spencer, more commonly known as Kablama185 in the big Discord. Those two players kind of worked together to build this list. That's bad. That's really bad. That's the one dragon that doesn't really care about poppers, huh? It's a good thing we have two, question mark. And a blaze, oh boy. Well, we're gonna want to pop on the Mirror Dice swing. Emeritus is really good to have in the second cycle. It's probably going to be dumped to Coronet on our turn. Don't think we're pushing anything this turn cycle. Oh, and another Kyloria. We're gonna let these Ash Wings through. Wait for them to attack the Kyloria. And if they don't, we just get to play the Wounded Bull on our turn. We do. And we will pop it. We're going to need to clean up this combination of Kyloria and Miragai, because letting our opponent have a breakpoint draw a card every turn is going to be backbreaking if it's presented every turn for the rest of this game. Interesting. Ravenous Rebel. We definitely have the ice cards this turn. In fact, this might be an Ice Vein. Dumping a chill in the yard. In the arsenal. Let's get Amulet out because it doesn't block. I don't think we can afford to block this, especially if they're swinging Kyloria. Yeah, they're spending 2 reds in hand to do it. Let's chip in 3 damage. This Kyloria, unfortunately, is going to hit. So we're really just threading that needle of the 4 life deficit, 10 life deficit. And we hope that they don't draw into a blue. They don't, so it's just 1 more life. Not the worst. Okay, so we have 2 options here. We can send this Aether Ice Vein at our opponent's face, or we can send it at Kyloria. They have Arcane Barrier 3. I'm playing Snapdragon Scalers. Is this the mono red list, I wonder? It might be. I think that's typically something you... Snap specifically is something you don't see in the blue heavy Dromai. In which case, I think pushing Disruption at their hand with this Channel Frigid is probably superior to killing the Kyloria right here. Because Channel is going to stay around since we're pitching an ice card. If essentially all of our arcane damage... Oh, Arena's Prayer is unfortunate here. We're putting them to 2 cards. Putting them to 1 card. And we have a Channel Frigid out, so they're going to be able to just attack with Kyloria next turn. But no damage through here is really rough. We'll Arsenal this chill. And hope to draw into another Fused Ice Vein. We don't. But we do have a Hypothermia, which is good. This hand is awkward because it's starved for resources. We can't play the Chill and play Wounded Bull or Fighting Spirit. We really need to push... Actually, what we need to do is keep Channel Lake around because it's the only way that we survive. The only way to do that is to play Chill and Moon, pitching Hex and Hypo. That doesn't seem great. We really want to arsenal this Hypo. So the only real option here in this turn cycle is to play the Chill, pitching a Hex, blocking 4 on this Kyloria will gain a life from Fighting Spirit. And then on our turn with just Arsenal Hypo, it seems rough, but it's what we gotta do. If one of these were a blue, we'd be in real business. We'd be taking this 4 and sending 8 on our turn. But we've just been a little resource light this whole game. This Ice Bolt may be what finally kills Kyloria. And of course they have to lead with Natural Go again, which is unfortunate. So we're going to... Well, we draw into another Hypo, which complicates things. Probably went to Arsenal it over the Ice Bolt. So this may be... if they're mono red, it's... They have Arcane Barrier 3. And they have 3 cards in hand, so Sending Moon doesn't do anything, it just gives them 3 Ash. In which case it's better to block with this Ice Eternal than pitch it to Moon. Yep. We are going to take away the Go again from this Kyloria. I'm confused, why didn't we develop a Hex? We didn't develop a Hex because it was we needed to spend both of our blues in hand to get that Chill out. But I may be thinking about this too much like Arcane Iyslander, and not enough like Wildfire Iyslander. This Kyloria unfortunately does not have Phantasm, which is what we wish we could spend this Fighting Spirit on. Opponent gets to make a significant amount of Ash here. Pitching the 3rd Kyloria, so if we kill this one, I was thinking as Iyslander and Hexacide mostly win. That's very fair. If you missed the start of the stream, Sergey, this is a list that has Wildfire in it, and the idea is that it lets you kill from a higher life threshold than your opponent is expecting. So while we do have like the attacks in, it's not actually our primary game plan. It's a supplement to our kill win con essentially. What we need to do is draw a Fused Ice Vein because that's one of our best cards against mono red, and we just can't find them. So let's try to even out life totals a bit and know that we're going to sit on this Hypo so that their turn is going to be somewhat insignificant. Oh my god. This list also has Dromai, so we have to hypo now. We have nothing in hand that kills Dromai, so this is going to be a really painful turn cycle. Opponent also getting to burn them all. We're going to want to coronet on our turn since we can't prevent. This is awkward. So our best option here is to Arsenal the Cold Snap because it still provides us value on our turn, since we're not going to be able to play it on our opponent's turn with that Dromai on the field. Hold on just a second, chat. Oh, we all good. Well, this looks like a Snapdragon Sailors if I ever did see one. And without any disruption on our turn, denying card draw here seems pretty important. Getting the hex down also seems useful. Yo, what's up, Bryce? Not being able to really stop this breakpoint is painful. Maybe time to give up Coronet Peak. We've seen 2 Channel Apes and 2 Hypos already. But without any disruption, we may get close to dying this turn. Let's get all of our opponent's damage face up on the table. Yeah. I think at this point this game is essentially over. It's not worth spending cards to block these Ashwings. The fact that we just have no way to kill Dromai 2 turns in a row is brutal. Yendurai will give a block too, just because it's efficient. Let's try to draw something off of this Cold Snap. If they don't pay, we get to freeze Triloria and like maybe survive for another turn at least. Opponent has the sigil. Yeah, we're definitely gonna... Drawing into a hypo isn't nothing. We can't develop the hex and the amulet and hypo. We already have... Whoa! That was interesting. We already have a chill down. So let's put the hex down and know that we're going to have some breathing room this turn. We finally draw into an Aether Ice Vein. We're more than halfway through our deck. This is... the luck is kind of obscenely bad here. And of course it's in a hand with a Sigil of Permafrost, which we can't block with, and we just spent Tunic last turn. Oh my god, I'm a fool. Our opponent has Thamai. We're not playing this hypo. I think this game is just about over, so we might as well just scoop up and go to the next one. I want to double check real fast. Oh. Yeah, so we had 9 Ice Vein in, and we got more than halfway through the deck without seeing reds or yellows. I think clearly some suboptimal use of the Fighting Spirits and Wounded Bulls that game, but that was just some really unfortunate bad beats all around, especially with the combination of Miragai and Kyloria that our opponent had that we really just didn't have an efficient answer to. Let's try again. Competitive CC public. Oh boy. One of the matchups that is not written out ahead of time. We probably want something similar to Iyslander sideboarding for Kano. Let me just see what this looks like. Ice Veins, yes. Wildfire's out. Definitely want energy potions against Kano. Rewind also doesn't seem like the worst. Which means we need to make some number of cuts. Hypothermia is never going to do anything. And it seems like a reasonable side grade. Oh, I'm below 60 somehow. How did I do that? Does this all make sense? Wildfire's out, Oasis in. Other than that, just good cards in. Yeah, this looks reasonable. Equipment looks correct. Let's go. Starting with an Oasis in hand, that's nice. See how much free damage our opponent can sneak through turn 0. Probably wanting to sandbag this amulet. You know, +1 card's a pretty good way to start. Alright, this is an incredible start for Kano. Both cards on top, huh? We're choosing not to been not to crucible this, which is frightening, but we happen to have the perfect answer to an Aether Spindle and an Oasis Respite in hand. Alternatively, we just pitch 4 resources and get a Constellus charge, which is probably better. So we're going to stop 4. And we're still sandbagging the Oasis at this point, in case they present another arcane damage this spell this turn. They know what this is as well. It's just a snapback. We'll Oasis it because it's more efficient. Then they're going to Moon. We will, of course, prevent the damage. We would have liked to keep that amulet, but it's not the biggest deal. We targeted this with Oasis, so we'll take no damage, even if we don't prevent anything. Opponent probably moving to Arsenal here. Yeah, and the Discord Unscathed is Alex4's handle, I do believe. Could be wrong. Wow, this is a hell of an opener. So we get to play the channel Lake Frigid, and basically tell Kano you have to go off right now, or you're basically going to be significantly reduced in terms of damage output for the next few turns. Ice Bolt is one of our more interesting cards to Arsenal because it pushes damage on their turn while leaving one floating for Livian Constellus. I don't really think this is a Hex mashup, it's much more tempo based, so I think we're okay to pitch that. And see if our opponent tries to go off now. Yep, which they do. Hitting another tome. Yeah, this is good stuff from this Kano so far. It could be Sergey that it's someone else with the same handle. It's not the most preposterous thing, but that's really funny if that connection is there and you didn't realize it before. Kano with 6 cards, what's the worst that could happen? If they start presenting too much damage, we're perfectly happy to arsenal this red Icing and just pitch the bolt to AB. Oh. Sorry, I forgot to pass priority there. Yeah, I think we would rather play it safe with our life totals. Okay. Blazing is not very scary considering they've dealt 0 arcane this turn. Watching them pitch a red and a blue, red and yellow. Oh, okay. So they're basically just digging for a 0 for 3 off the top right now. Hit Sonic Boom. They have 0 ways to play it. I'm not exactly sure why they banished it. Sure. Oh, this is disgusting. I'm not sure why this Sonic Boom is still floating here. The turn has definitely changed. Our opponent should not have access to it anymore. So we have a plethora of good cards here. Channel H is going to stay out for sure, and we're going to present a fused Ice Vein here. The question is, what are we arsenaling? I think there's an argument between either the second Channel Lake Frigid or the Ice Bolt. The Bolt's going to let us push damage on our opponent's turn, and while we're under the effects of this first CLF, it's probably what we want to be doing. Especially considering that we'll be sandbagging the second CLF in hand. Because this hypo is what will be pitched to Waning Moon this turn. Our opponent just taking the turn off to block damage, since they're not going to be able to do anything significant through the Channel Light Frigid, which further reinforces the thought that we want to arsenal this Ice Bolt. Yeah, especially now, when we're just going to get 6 free damage on our opponent's turn. The amulet, we saw all 3 hexes very early, which is pretty funny. The amulet is reasonable to just play on our turn. Opponent disconnected. Oh no. Hope they come back. Currently just waiting to see if this Kano returns. Good question, Alex. This seems really premature for a rage quit. Opponent indeed rage quit. That's really sad. I mean, clearly I had control of the game, but it's Kano and he's still at 23 after this turn. Yeah, well, it's Talishar. Not everyone's trying to be a great sport. That's fine. Let's just shuffle up and go to the next one. Yeah, that's a good point, Sergey. It's rage quitting. There is no logic to it. On the right list, competitive CC public. Ooh, all right. Dromai redemption time. I think we want to go first and just try to develop the board. Alright, I think I just DC'd there. Yeah. No, our opponent quit. May have been that same mono red Dromai, just wasn't looking for the mirror, or the rematch. Ooh, okay. One of our harder matchups. We do not want Rhinar to get free damage going first. Huh. I guess the idea behind Rewind In is to disrupt Blood Rush Bellows. It's interesting. I'll have to ask Blam about that later. Otherwise, I think this all makes sense. Taking out no block cards, defensive instants and reactions. Let's see how it goes. Double Syncfalo opener. That's pretty good, especially when we get to play an Insidious Chill as well. Opponent has AB3 and Tunic as expected. Club, not claws. But this is a good start. Hopefully the sink below in hand doesn't clog up anything. This is excellent. We just have to hope that our opponent's intimidates cooperate with us. Only one intimidate this turn. Oh no, they whiffed on the draw discard. So this is just vanilla 6. In which case, we're gonna block 4. We might sink the sink in hand. Because on our turn it's going to be a Fused Aether Icebane. It's going to take 2 cards from our opponent, and then on their turn we probably want to try to push some damage with the Aether Hail. It's definitely greedy, but you need a lot of things to go right to not just get run over by Rhinar, so let's be a little bit greedy. And we get rewarded. That's a better arsenal target than Aether Hail. Combined with Chill, this takes 2 cards from our opponent. And we're presenting 6 arcane damage this turn, after we pitch this Hail to Moon. Sad that Tunic isn't up for the Channel 8 Frigid, but we take what we can get. This may be a turn to block with Ironhide Gauntlet, if we pitch a blue to CLF on their opponent's turn. Opponent discarding a spare red. Is it that bad matchup? I understand it should be the case in principle, but somehow my games in Talishar mostly wins. I think it depends, Sergey. Rhinar is a deck of variants on like a base level, and so maybe you're just rolling a bit hot, your opponent's a bit low. I found it to be pretty rough. The Intimidates can really mess with like trying to fuse an Aether Icebane. As well as they just have a reasonable number of yellows and blues to stop our arcane damage. Having access to an AB2 helmet also kind of makes things really rough for us, because it means that they get to have 2 real pieces of equipment and still have AB3. Opponent just sending club. Our hand does not keep Channel 8 Frigid out if we play it right now. But what we could do is play Channel 8, pitch Icebane. On our turn, play Wounded Bull, pitch Hex, Arsenal Fighting Spirit. Channel 8 stays out. We're probably not going to be able to keep it for a second turn if we Arsenal Fandle's Fighting Spirit. But maybe we draw into something like a Polar Blast. Also, opponent pitching Blood Rush Bellow there. That's interesting. It could be that we're not supposed to play the CLF there. There's not Black Aether and Fandle's Fighting Spirit. Send Bull. Three, 4, 5. Yeah, so we're getting 5 block value that way. I could see that line, Sergey. Seems reasonable. Here we push 2 and keep CLF out, and Arsenal Fighting Spirit. There's the signature Wildfire. This definitely looking like a blockout kind of turn. Arsenaling, I don't know. Hypothermia. Our opponent hasn't shown a lot of go again. Barraging probably just a yellow here. So maybe frosting over the hypo for Arsenal. In which case we're blocking 5. Opponent has been sitting on Arsenal for a while. I wonder what it is. Yeah. Here we draw into a fused ice vein. Hopefully they don't intimidate the sink. Oh, discarding Beast Within. At least they don't intimidate the sink. You know, I should probably give our opponent their Frostbite before I forget. The more I think about your line survey, I think that was probably correct. Sitting on the Channel Lake, especially combined with the Waning Moon. But I didn't see that line at the time, and hindsight is 20/20, as they say. Be interesting to see if our opponent prevents the damage here. They do, okay. So they don't like have a killer turn for the rest of their resources at least. Uh-oh. I may have spoken too soon. Just a 3 for 8. Yo, what's up, Chase? This is a lot of damage to eat on the chin, but it only drops us to 21. I can see why our opponent was sitting on that for a while. 3 for 7 is not a great deal. Yeah, it's a Brute's Raging Onslaught, right? That's the 3 for 7 block 3 card. Skullcrack was discarded. I've heard that's a good card. Haven't played with it yet. It doesn't get the free resource because it wasn't a random discard though. Choosing to eat the damage. Discard another red. They may be without a blue. Interesting. Our opponent Arsenal to smash with Big Tree red. That kind of surprises me to see in the list at all. We will present some free arcane damage to them. Choosing to eat it. Our hand doesn't block a lot. That's kind of scary. But our opponent doesn't have Tunic up, so we can Cornet Peak on our turn. And they've also indicated that they're willing to take damage, so we might want to push with Waning Moon. Yeah, I'm just choosing to eat it. And then our turn, Amulet, Coronet, Arsenal CLF. We're going to block with Gauntlet here to just cash in a little bit of value. We take 5, but we're nearly at life parity with Rhinar, so it's not terrible. When we Amulet, we Coronet. That's something you never want to see as Iyslander. Is it value though? We're Arsenal 2 cost blue. Yeah, we have Tunic up, so that, whoa, this is a good hand. And our opponent is also presenting us with a Scabsman Leather trigger, so we even get an opportunity to tax their first action of the turn, essentially. Pitching the Aether Ice Vein here because we want to pitch an ice card on our turn when we fuse this Aether Ice Vein. So we need both of these ice cards in hand. They have 2 floating, so they can club after this. We're going down to as low as 6 this turn. Probably wanting to arsenal the Hex on our turn. We still have 1 Wildfire in the deck. Yeah, Hex is not super thrilling here, to be honest. Neither of these cards are. But I can't see us blocking this 6. And they are just clubbing after this. Okay. So we're going to be at a 15 life deficit, but we're also going to be taking 3 cards from our opponent next turn. And they're going to be under the effects of a channel like Frigid, so I'd be... the Rhinar may be locked out of anything to do next turn. So I'm okay going to... I mean, I'm not okay going to 5 against a Rhinar, which is full of Intimidate, but it's a risk I'm willing to take. As they go to end the turn, we want to cash in Tunic and try to push some damage here. They take because they went to Arsenal. So without Permafrost in, the Hex isn't really representing a ton here. And we still have a significant number of Ice Veins in the deck. So I think we probably want to actually put this Chill down, as much as this list loves getting the first Frost Steps down. Yeah, and to really buy us some breathing room, we're going to just crack this Amulet of Ice and not let our opponent have any cards in hand. They have 1 float, so there's no point in pitching the Chill to Waning Moon here. If anything, we can just do it on their turn after playing the Chill. Oh, if only we had a damage spell in our arsenal. That's a shame. Huh. Does this hand do anything? I kind of think it does, like, absolutely nothing, right? We can Coronet on our turn. or play the chill. So like we can play the chill off the cold snap and pitch Wildfire and Weathervane to Waning Moon. This is our second Wildfire. And we don't have a damage spell on Arsenal, so it probably just isn't happening this game. Because we can't play the Wildfire and the Aether Hail. This is a shame. Because we can't... Opponent's at 15. We can't clear the chill and Coronet keeping CLF and Arsenal this Aether Hail. Arsenal Wildfire doesn't actually do anything because we have to Strider it out at that point. And we can't really just get chill out here and on our turn just Arsenal Hail. Is the answer that we're supposed to be Arsenaling the Weathervane? No, it's too late in the game for that because we're at 5 and all of our Ice Fusion requires at least 2 cards in hand. Probably have to block with 2 cards or kill on the next turn. Rhinar is probably going to have a 5-card hand, which is rough, but we can put them to 12 right here. Or we can keep Channel Lake out for another turn. You know what, that might be the real answer, is Channel Lake is better. That was really painful. Tunic isn't even up. We can't send Moon on this turn. Okay, we gotta clear our arsenal. Oh! Did that wrong. I need to overpitch. Even if this is fully unblocked, this is 4, so then this is 6, is 10, is 13, doesn't kill. So I think we just have to unmarry ourselves from this Wildfire and try to politely ask our opponent to discard from their hand. They do stop the damage. Smash with Big Tree. We have no reason to believe that they are running pummels. We just haven't seen any. I do have a decklist handy, Kearney. Here we go. Have fun. So if this is just for 7, we can block three on equipment, take 4, go to 1. Present 5 from the Aether Hail. No, we don't really want to do that. Our turn then becomes something like Icebane Pitched Cold Snap, Arsenal Emeritus. Before blocks, let's see what happens. Oh, but we have a chill out, so the Icebane is significant. It at least taxes 2 cards. Yeah, let's at least before blocks see how our opponent goes with this damage. This Frostbite also stops a pummel even if they did have it. They'd have to pay for his tunic counter, which they're probably realizing now. Pitching to stop the damage. But taking it there. If we go to 1, we have to be ready to kill. Which Emeritus helps a lot with. Icebane taxes a blue or... Oh, opponent's at 13. We can't kill. We can't reliably kill, I should say. So instead our options are presenting the Fused Icebane because it takes 2 cards. We would still have to go to 1, which just sounds like we die. Not really sure what the answer is here, chat. I think they're gonna have an arsenal. CLF will be gone on their next turn. And we're only going to put them to 3 cards, which we would have to go to 1 life for. Where are your wildfires? Well, the first one we had to block with very early power up, and the second one we drew outside of lethal range, and it was in a very awkward hand. So unfortunately the wildfires are gone for this game. We also find ourselves in a predicament here. Where I'm not sure that we have a good answer. So I think... Oh, okay, power up is triple ammo, cool. That's good to know. Guessing. Weather Vane, Sigil Permafrost, or for Frost Hex game plans, does Wildfire give each Frostbite plus X with Hex? No, Crooney, it does. So the Wildfires don't buff the Frostbite damage from Hex, but what they do is you play the Sigil, you fuse it, so you get all your chill triggers and such, then you play the Wildfire, then the Sigil resolves, then you play your buffed arcane spell and it makes excess Frostbites. Yeah, chat, I'm not seeing the line here. I think we kinda just lose, but maybe our opponent draws like the quad red, which is basically what we're playing to as an out here. So we have options between fusing this Icebane and arseling the Cold Snap, or just presenting 3 arcane damage and arseling Emeritus Scolding. We can't kill... We can't kill the Arsenal of Scolding, so I think we're in stay alive mode right now. Although it's not looking like we're doing a good job of it. Yeah, so power up to recap. The first Wildfire was blocked with turn 0, I think. And the second one we drew in a hand with a... So the hand was 2 ice cards, a red Weather Vane, and the Wildfire. And it just kind of didn't do anything. It was a really awkward time. I and Rhinar, that's interesting. Opponent has another smash with big tree. Rhinar is impressively tricky. The smash with big tree is going to eat 3 cards. Okay, that's not how priority works, my friend. Only pushing 1 damage there is so rough. Okay. So we're compelled to block with 3 cards here. Ice Bolt does the most damage, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, but there's no... We have 0 lines where we draw into something and can kill with the Ice Bolt. Because the most we can draw is a red Ice Vein, which presents 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Our opponent's at 12. Rhinar doesn't really run a lot of 0 costs. Like, there's barraging. Maybe we want to Arsenal the Brain Freeze, because it'll proc chill when we trigger it. Again, just in like awkward staying alive mode. Probably keep Hail and Pray. I can see that. Our opponent has been very good at presenting breakpoints every turn, but yeah, maybe they just like have a turn where it's just Swing Club. We can see. How many barraging left? We have only seen blues. I don't think this Rhinar is running reds or yellows, which is interesting. Well, if our opponent just passes here, we're good, but I doubt that's what's happening. Waiting to see what they're thinking up. Not... They're at 4 cards and they only need to push 1. It's looking pretty good for them. And choosing to roll Scab Skins. Oh my. Well, they don't have... Maybe this is how we come back. Maybe they roll a 1. 1 in 6 shot, right? They rolled a 2. Okay. So 1 action point. They don't get to be greedy this turn. Opponent really thinking through this turn. Maybe they were assuming the second action point. And might just come in for 6. With 1 card in hand and 1 resource floating, there's no way in the world we can fuse this Aether Icebane. We have to block with 2 3-block cards. If they have a blue in hand, we can put them to 11. Arsenal the Emeritus Scolding. We're definitely interested in arsenaling the Emeritus at this point, because we kill or we die. And we want to clear, we have to clear our arsenal in order to do that. So let's throw 5, see if they have a blue in hand. If they think they're going to arsenal this card. They think they're gonna arsenal this card, huh? Yeah, wow, okay. I forgot about Intimidate. We lose the game. Question mark. Uh-huh. Well, we've only got 1 choice. Probably should read my opponent's cards better. Forgot that this had Intimidate stapled on it from the discard. So with nothing to do with this Icebane, we arsenal it. Ugh, drawing a red 2-block at a time like this is so painful. And we have nothing to Strider in on this hand that's significant. Like, we can play an Ice Eternal, but it doesn't do anything. So we're probably going to be Stridering Icebane. We can present exactly lethal, so we just need our opponent to somehow have 0 resources in hand. Yeah, we gotta Striders the Icebane. With 2 floating right now, the Icebane eats their resources and it eats a card. We have to spend 2 cards from hand to do it, specifically these 2 Ice Eternals, which leaves us with 4 block in hand. Our opponent probably just swings club and we die. So I don't think that actually gets us anywhere. Yeah, because so if they specifically have 2 reds in hand, then the Icebane here, they discard, they try to swing club with the 2 resources, and then we have exact kill. Can't swing club if we moon. Yeah, exactly. So I think that's what we have to do here. It's really rough, but our only choice. We just hope they dump 2 reds. Oh my god, they have the beast within. Alright, so that's game. Because it intimidates as well. It's their turn. Well, we're gonna go out in style. Yep. Yep. Lemo, you're exactly right. The plan is now to moon them, and then watch them flip 6 non-attack actions and die to their Beast Within. It could happen. I have definitely seen Rhinars die from 5 or 6 from Beast Within. Opponent thinking really hard about how much of this waning moon damage they want to block. Their answer is 0. Yeah, so we need them to flip 4 non-6s. Immediately flip Skullcrack. Yeah, it was worth a shot, but it looks like they now have the excess blue, and they're going to intimidate us. And they have resources for club, GG. It's I gotta be honest, guys, it's not going well so far. We're gonna keep trying though. Not giving up yet. That was definitely... So I know we were talking in Discord, Kablamo, about how Wildfire ended up being... This is the Rhinar again. Ugh. Alright, let's try to rematch. About how 2 Wildfire ended up being the correct answer. I think every game I've played, I've kind of wished that there was a 3rd copy in the deck. Seeing that 2nd copy and just knowing that it's not going to be ever relevant is so heartbreaking. This is a different Rhinar, you're right. Thank you for pointing that out, Byron. The last one was a friend of mine. Oh, nice. Hi, Byron. Welcome to the stream. We're so good at drawing Wildfire in our opening hand where we'll never see it for the rest of the game. What do we do with this hand? Whole lot of nothing? Pitch that Wildfire away for sure. Probably want to ditch the Weathervane as well. This might be a self-coronet discarding the Weathervane. Is Arctic Incarceration for combo kill turn? The Incarceration is in for a few reasons. It's good about... it's good with hexes. It's good with Sigil Permafrost, and specifically... Oh, not manual mode. Specifically, you need a certain density of 0-cost blue non-sack actions in order for Permafrost to work. What are we doing here? I don't see a world where this is anything other than self-coronet discard the Weathervane. I would love to develop this hex, but we can't take any game actions. Play hex, Arsenal Weathervane. Are you really comfortable arsenaling a Weathervane? I guess I can see it. All right, you're the deck guy. I will trust your wisdom. Well, we did draw the we did draw the Ice Vein. It's not really ideal because we can't block with any cards this turn cycle, but I guess we weren't planning to anyways. Dromai. Yeah, we just essentially can't interact with anything this turn. This is for 9! It's okay though, our opponent's gonna be locked out of the game on their next turn, hopefully, question mark. Never been the biggest Weathervane fan myself. Yeah, we got an Insidious Chill in the arsenal. This is a casual swing bid for 12. Are we supposed to take this and go to 15? I don't see what else we do. Yeah, this is... I... I... I know this deck is good. I feel like essentially every match that we've played today, we're just getting destroyed, and it's not particularly our fault, which is awkward. Let's play a Weathervane, I guess. Yeah, if the Rhinar drew really poorly here, we may actually sneak through like 9 damage this turn cycle. Because this is 4 Frostbites and ripping a card from their hand. And there's a Frost Hex. Nope, they have the spare blue. Okay. We're going down to 2 cards, so it may just be a Claw Pass. It can't be much more than just a Claw Pass. It's really awkward to have yellow yellow Icevane, Wildfire, blue Emeritus, yellow Icevane. They're just passing the turn. This is a good turn of events at least. We get to slap on another Frostbite, play an Icevane, and then arsenal an Ice Bolt with Tunic up. Maybe our luck is turning around. So now the question is, how many resources do they have in hand? No, play the amulet? Oops, too late. Oh, right, amulet. But we don't have Sigil of Permafrost in, so it's not really... Yeah, I can see the argument for playing the amulet, but considering we just got a chill down, I don't know. Amulet Peak, Arsenal the Icevane. That's an interesting line. Yeah, especially when our opponent isn't on Tunic, I guess. Gives you so much room to stop dying. This also takes 2 cards. Yeah, this takes... Alright, at least they're not playing that second Blood Rush Bellows. Ugh, this hand does a fat lot of nothing. Really want to arsenal the Cold Snap, it's just the best card in hand to arsenal. The Incarceration is a 0 for 2 with the Frost Hex. But with a Chill Out, we're kind of interested in fusing red Icevenes that we draw into. Do we give them the Frostbite now before they get their free resources, I wonder? I think so. If you burst this chest break, go all in on Ice Eternal on your turn. Is that good enough? Oh, is choosing to lose life? Ice Eternal's our only 3 block in this hand, so... And even if he doesn't get any resources from strapping here, he's going to have a turn. If he's okay with taking damage, I'm fine with presenting damage. Roll to 1 and gain 0 resources. Chopa's Ice Eternal would lock down for another turn and deal 3 to 6 damage. It's a good observation, Sergey. They break through the frostbite, but they're only presenting 3 this turn. So our turn, we can Coronet, keep them on 4 cards, Arsenal Cold Snap, and try to draw into a hand that fuses. Choosing to discard Red Barraging. Huh. Alright, catch you later, Kablema. Thank you. Considering if I want to try to go off with this Wildfire next turn right now. Especially if we can lock our opponent down with a Channel 8 Frigid. Let's let them resolve Beaten Trackers and see if they want the action point. They do choose it, so let's give them a Frostbite and stop them from doing anything with it. We draw into a Frosting. They of course choose to let their arsenal be frozen. Waning Moon only pushes 1 here, it puts him to 22. What does our kill cap out at? 4, 8, 12, 13, 14, 15? Not nearly 22. That's disappointing. So, again, it just doesn't look like Wildfire is quite time for it. Don't really want to spend Striders on Wildfire if it doesn't actually kill our opponents. Thank you for reminding me of that, Max. I'm not quite as versed in my brute cards as I should be, and it clearly shows. Yeah, so this Wildfire isn't going off here, and unfortunately the Frosting was intimidated. Frosting's going to be pitched to Coronet next turn. Channel is going to be Arsenaled, so we're just going to block 6 here, take 3 from the Claw. But that's the second Wildfire, so unless we make it to second cycle, it's not happening in the stream. We're going to take 3 here. We have caught up on life really well, which is encouraging. They have the blue in hand, so they get to swing both claws. Disregard what I said about catching up on life. I should have said if he draws a blue, he swings both. Yeah, we kind of fell into the worst case scenario there. Let's kick him off of 5 cards and just try to stay alive, I guess. Yeah, Alpha Rampage seems very expensive to try to play in this matchup. Ugh. Okay, hold on a minute. Our opponent now has Arcane Barrier 0. All of our damage is going through the rest of the game. This seems like a perfect opportunity to present a Channel 8 Frigid. Huh. Ugh. Opponent doesn't get the extra ability of Master because it's not a brute action card. What? I mean, I'm not going to complain, but what? Opponent just ending the turn? This seems wrong. Yeah, I legitimately don't know what that even looks like there that they just pass. This is really awkward though that they threw away their Arcane Barrier. Alright, now we just need them to Blood Rush Bellows so we can rewind it. Drew 3 reds with the Savage Beatdown in Arsenal. Yeah, that could be it. And in fact, if they had 3 reds in hand, yeah. Okay, so if they draw discard Intimidate, Rewind only hits non-attack actions. We can't hit this pulping with it. Hopefully, I guess we're hoping it's what gets banished here. If we give them a Frostbite, though, they're locked out of any other actions for the turn. Because a blue in hand, Claw costs 4 between the Frostbite and the CLF. So it sounds like we're going to push 6 damage here, dumping the non-block card. Intimidate the Ice Eternal. This does have Dominate. They have Go again. Doesn't particularly matter. I think we're just happy to play a sync on this. Coronet with the Ice Eternal on our turn. Arsenal the blue Ice Vein. Yep, they're just ending the turn. They'll take 1 damage from the Frostbite plus Hex. Oh, and we draw no ice cards. Again, Wounded Bull really awkward here is a red 2 block that can't be started in. We just hope that... I don't know what we hope for. Okay, so we can potentially sink this attack, sink the Wounded Bull. Yeah, sink it, try to draw into an ice blue. Alternatively, we can try to play the Wounded Bull on our next turn with the Brain Freeze that is intimidated. Which means that we block for 7 here, and then we have 3 block backup if our opponent tries to do anything. That might make more sense than trying to luck into something that's not even guaranteed lethal this turn. So let's block. If our opponent has pummel, I'll just be amazed. They haven't shown this one all game. They have a Massacre to follow up, which is vanilla. No, it's +2. Okay. Sounds like we're giving up our equipment to stay alive. Going to 2. We get to crack back for 8. Our opponent has to block in some capacity, and hopefully we can fuse the Ice Vein this next hand. What was the point of blocking with Brain Freeze on first attack? If we don't do it then, it may be intimidated on the next attack, and then we just have a card in hand that doesn't do anything on the next turn cycle. Yeah, so if the opponent had the pummel there, it would have been very bad. We haven't seen any all game. And it's just not something we can play around since we don't really expect them to be there. Opponent giving us 3 cards here to block this 8. They're just claw for 3. Do we have enough resources in hand to kill them? Wait, or how does pummel work with intimidated cards? There's no special interaction there. We can't block with the intimidated cards, and we can't discard them. It's just that pummel would push extra damage in the reaction step. Can't play both of these Ice Veins. But when this claw is only for 3, we can block 2, go to 1, present a fused yellow Ice Vein on our turn. They have AB 0, so they take 6 and go down a card. And then we can finally kill with this Ice Vein that's been rotting in our arsenal. Yeah, because they have no other game actions this turn after this claw. It doesn't have go again. I applaud this Rhinar for playing a very brute style game. I think that, so A, presenting just Arcane Barrier 2 was a bold choice. Secondly, destroying it Also an incredibly bold choice, because my damage is just unblockable for the rest of the game. And then we win. That was scary, considering that opening turn of theirs with the Blood Rush Bellow into Claw for 9, into Swing Big for 12. Yeah, they definitely were not playing super optimally that game. Kind of got to steal that one. Let's see what else Talishar has for us. This list is funky. We haven't really gotten to see the Titular card in action yet. Hopefully we'll get to justifiably play it one of these games. But the matchups we're getting have also been really rough. Of course, we do not have a sideboard plan prepared for Azalea. It's not exactly a meta deck. So, what do we have? Tunic, Gauntlet. All of these cards are good. These cards are not good. Is this a new hero? Yeah, it's. I heard that this is a leak. We're going to the pits in the next set, and this is like Arachne 2.0 Byron. In all these games so far, having E-Strike would be much stronger than Wildfire. Probably, Sergey, but we're trying to make Wizard feel more like Wizard and less like Guardian Light. So far it's not working, but we're going to try to pull it around for the second half of the stream. You know, Wildfire seems very good against a hero that doesn't have a lot of arcane barrier. Energy potions do not. Sigils and sinks seem fine. Blizzard seemed quite bad. Yeah, it's crazy, Byron. I did one stream, and then they've already given me a preview card for a set that's not even announced yet. We're going places in the world. Bully just pulls lots of damage out of nowhere. That's the magic. That's fair. We need one more card, so we're going to stick a hypo back in just because it's an ice blue. I'm probably supposed to be playing these Oasis Respites, and Levi's going to be mad at me that I'm not, but didn't really have time to plan out this sideboard, so let's jump right in. We are so good at drawing Wildfire in the opening hand when we don't want to see it. I am amazed. And Sigil of Permafrost. Oh my god. Alright, here's what we're doing, gang. We're keeping the Wildfire in the deck. Skill so high, I can't not draw the Wildfire. I love it, Crooney. That's definitely what's happening here. Alright, so this Bolton Shot now has Go again. But I mean, I guess they can break Bracers to send another zero-cost arrow. I guess they're leaking one and still having an arsenal this turn. I think I might know this Azalea. Beware of Arena's Prayer. Oh man, we get the inside knowledge going into the matchup now. Thanks, Mirage. They are choosing to reload. Now is that just to pass the turn? It is, okay. This is interesting. Both... Oh. Both swinging Fighting Spirit here and playing Ice Vein here are good. Fighting Spirit in our pitch stack next to Wildfire probably really bad. But let's be real, this is Azalea, this is an aggro race, we're probably not getting there. To the second cycle, I mean. Oh. I think I'm having some connection issues. Let's play this like a bully and see how it goes. Maybe we can sandbag the Ice Vein into the next turn cycle. Draw into another Wounded Bull. They show us a Bolt and Shot. We're going to show them a Frostbite. And they take the damage. Icewind with 6 damage in her card, in my opinion, so much better. I guess it's 6 damage in her card if we Arsenal the Fighting Spirit. I kind of got fixated on arsenaling a Disruptive Blue. I can see that line though. We actually can just take that same line this turn, which is interesting. Showing us a read. With the line Sergey points out of arsenaling this after playing the Ice Vein plus Moon, I don't think we really want to block this turn. Just got Mac. How did that last Rhinar game end? Max, the Rhinar voluntarily broke his Skullhorn for the effect and threw away his Arcane Barrier. So with AB0, we just kind of chipped him down as we very nervously blocked. I think I'm pretty sloppy tonight, Mirage. I'm not sure I would call it a well-played win. Okay, did they just restart their turn? I'm kinda confused. I think it's not the same now. Now our cards have potential value blocking, as opposed to previous turn. Sending an attack action was more card efficient, but it didn't matter. Yeah, I suppose so. As a self-proclaimed Iyslander boomer, I'm still trying to get a little used to what the optimal lines are when it comes to playing the attack actions versus playing the arcane spells. The Seek and Destroy is going to force us to block, which is unfortunate. We can't stop 8 and have a real turn. We can stop 8 and coronet, but I think we'd rather just present 8 back. Because blocking with the bull is always a bad idea, being a red 2 block. Oh, nice. Now we have a channel like Frigid going into a turn. I do agree, Sergey. I think that Rhinar was taking some lines that probably could have been better and probably would have changed the outcome of that game. This is exciting, though. We have a... Yeah, we can't do anything about disrupting them on that Tunic counter. We have a channel like Frigid that's going to be arsenaled on a turn where Tunic goes up to 3. Probably going to fuse the Brain Freeze with that channel like Frigid, blocking with Sink and Frosting this turn. There's an Embolism, so the Bolt and Shot has to go again. So we can just stop the reload here. And let's see what kind of tasty stuff we get to snipe out of their hand with this Brain Freeze. Oh, that's a lot of options. So they have a Red in the Ledger, a Bolt and Shot, an E-Strike, and a Reed. Razor incoming. Nope. So we can't take all of their arrows away. What we can do is take the E-Strike, which would have gave them a wider turn. This kind of narrows them down into just playing the Red in the Ledger, potentially with the Reed the Glide Path. But we want them to take those multiple actions before a single attack, because it helps channel like Frigid. Yeah, Maps, hey, Break Skullhorn move to end phase is indeed a pro gamer move. It's kind of awkward here because they can just redraw the E-Strike off a Death Dealer. But we also couldn't, like, take away all of their yellows, so there's not a great choice there. Here's where we really wish that we had one Hex down, because we drew a Sigil Permafrost. Choosing to activate Azalea. What are we pitching here? A Another channel 8 Frigid's pretty funny. We have 0 amulet effects, so we want to keep that. Looks like Ice Bolt is our least impactful card here. Okay, so we stopped the double E-Strike turn. They pitched Reed, so their last card in hand is either Red in the Ledger or Yellow Bolt and Shot, and it's probably Red in the Ledger. They're choosing to buff the power on this E-Strike. Sigil kinda awkward here, not gonna lie. If we take 7, we go to 22, we can now put our opponent to 30. Coronet them, ditching the Sigil and the CLF, arsenaling the Amulet. That's unacceptable. You know what? With the 0 cost Amulet in Arsenal, maybe we just sandbag the Sigil this turn cycle. I hate sandbagging cards and not getting their full value every turn cycle, but I don't know that it really does anything here. Taking 7 is also awkward, but we need to Coronet next turn, so that Channel 8 survives. So we know one of their cards in hand is E-Strike, and we know that their arsenal is Yellow Bolt and Shot or Red in the Ledger. Pitch another red. Hopefully they're quad red, and we just get to... Ugh. So we can't fuse this Ice Vein. Yeah, Tunic isn't up, or else we could... We don't have 2 ice cards to pitch Channel 8 Frigid. I don't think we have any... Yeah. There's just no line here. Right now it looks like playing Wounded Bull. We gotta get this Sigil out of our hand because it's just not doing anything. So we're gonna overpitch to it. Arsenal the red Ice Vein. We just don't have much of a turn if we don't do exactly that. Yeah, overpitch for bull is the line here. I think we have quickly deduced that this is not a Sigil Permafrost matchup. And it's also, if anything, today is reminding me why I originally cut it from my list, personally. It's probably better value just Sigil last turn, save us 4 HP and tune it, save opponent 3 HP and draw into a better card. Yeah, that math is... Oh, well, now we kind of wish that we had just passed the turn. Opponent choosing to seek and destroy. What are they seeking and destroying? It was the yellow Bolton shot in Arsenal. Interesting. So we're forced to engage now. How much is this coming in for? 6. If we let it hit, we don't have an Arsenal next turn. We can't... Yeah. So we can... pitch this incarceration, play the Sigil, plus block with Wounded Bull, swing to our Moon, and then we get Arsenal the Ice Vein. Okay. Can't fuse the Sigil, but doesn't particularly matter. And our opponent goes to 27 as we stay at 22. This is a hand where I'm tempted to try to sink the Brain Freeze of the Ice Eternal and draw into a better ice card. Sinking Ice Eternal, just because not really interested in playing it right now. Yep, we have no responses this turn because we don't have a blue in Arsenal. This smells like a Rain Razors, but I'm not... Yeah, not really sure we can get around it without... I guess we can overblock. If we block 7, they need double Rain Razor in order to reload after this. Sure, that seems like a safe bet. We'll still get to Arsenal. Fuse the Ice Vein. Arsenaling Chill, not great, but there's worse things to do. It did smell like a Rain Razors. Do they have the second Rain Razors? I'm not sure why they play the Rain there, to be honest. Because Bolton Shot was already going to hit. I guess they were just expecting to use it as a 0 for 4 reaction. Yeah, wow, was not telegraphed at all, Sergey, for real. I never would have guessed. Now they have to Bullseye Bracers if they want to continue their turn, and then they go down to AB1. They do decide to do that. Oh, good point, Kevin. Yeah, that doesn't have go again if they don't Razor there. This is a red and ledger for 7. That is not insignificant. 8. Oh yeah, bullseye bracers. Right. But we're gonna put our opponent to 3 cards next turn. Not really sure that we can afford to block this. Arsenal has 3 cost here is going to be clunky, but it's the only ice card we drew this turn. This may be an amulet turn, especially considering we're getting the chill down. Yeah, if they're losing 5 and dumping a red. Oh, interesting. So, how much do we care about their tunic counter? Because basically by pitching the blue here to taps, they're saying if we amulet, I don't get another card. But if we leave them with their tunic, yeah, I think so. If we leave them with their tunic, then using it on the next turn to cancel out this frostbite means that we're not disrupting them at all. I imagine they do tunic here. They don't. Okay. Interesting. Well, we're happy to put them into 3 cards. Definitely worth more than eating a tunic counter. And we draw into another fused ice vein. If they don't present enough damage this turn cycle, we're just going to eat it and keep throwing damage at their face. Fatigue shot, huh? We're getting to the point in the game where we want to just be sending damage, so I'm inclined to arsenal this hail over this cold snap. 22 is a little high. And Azalea cares a lot about playing her arsenal cards. Saving tunic for death dealer. That's a good observation, Mirage. Yeah, let's play it a teeny bit safe and opt to fuse with the cold snap. Especially when we have so many ice veins left. Nope, they are not saving tunic for death dealer because they let the frostbite resolve without activating tunic. I guess the frostbite messes up their math, period. They opted the card to the top. Maybe this is an Azalea ability here. Or they just like it for their next hand, which is also an acceptable answer. Choosing to pay for the tunic through the frostbite, just essentially saying the frostbite tax doesn't apply here. But just choosing to play the fatigue shot. This is only for 5. I guess I could razor it if they really want to. We're going to be taking 2 cards from them again next turn. Can we afford to go to 9? I don't think we have a choice. Um, I can see the argument for spending the gauntlet there, Sergey, but now that we're getting low on life, Azalea is very good at dominating cards. So I'm wanting to play a more cautious game and saving those gauntlets for a turn where we either need to stop a relevant arrow on hit or we want to survive through a dominate that would be otherwise lethal. Alright, we're 10 life down. We draw into another Ice Vein. They're activating Skullbone. So we actually can freeze their arsenal, and then they have to Azalea it away. Or, you know, make them pay for it. Seems pretty good. We would like to fuse this Ice Vein. We're gonna pitch away the ice card we don't want to fuse it with. And we draw into a better color Ice Vein? Okay. Present our opponent with a really awkward 2 resource taps. They pay it, because if they don't, they're probably locked out of doing anything this turn. Well, I'll tell you what, there is one Wildfire left in the deck. And we gotta be getting close. Okay, so they're activating Azalea. They've found something to dominate. But it's just around the ledger for 5. And they have no resources floating. We weren't planning on spending more than one action next turn anyways. Let me do some quick math. We're going to put them to 16 here. On our turn, we're going to present 7 arcane, which is 9-ish. Arsenal and Emeritus holding. I think we are pretty happy to hold all of our cards and start lunging for something that looks like a kill. We'll give up Coronet just so that we don't drop too low. And we're probably not pitching to it anymore this game. Sorry. I clicked through the waning in there. Let's go back to the end of the turn. There we go. Sorry about that, opponent. I'm just so eager to fuse this red Ice Vein. It's like my favorite card in the game. So this is a bit awkward. We're spending our Tunic counter because our pitch card this turn isn't yellow. But ultimately it's fine. And I would argue it's worth arsenaling the Emeritus when our opponent is getting so low. Because at most they're stopping 2 this turn. Going to 11, which is still in kill range. Maybe we'll finally get the Wildfire kill. I'm really hoping. We just have to draw into it next hand, and a reasonable number of blues. Alright, our opponent is in a very good kill range for us. Oh, we didn't draw into it. No. I want it to happen so badly, guys. We don't have confirmed kill here, so we're gonna let them keep going through their turn. Now we do, though. We can present 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. If we play the Ice Vein first and fuse it, Chill will trigger. And even if this is a blue, they have to pay 2 and only have 1 resource floating. So that's going to be GG. Yeah, we definitely have lethal here. Alright, it's getting kind of late for me. We're going to give it one more go. I really want to kill someone with Aether Wildfire. I want to just play Aether Wildfire. Oh, look at that. There's a game already here for us. Oh, dang it. Competitive CC public. And we'll create a game. Okay, we can do Briar. It's a nice fair aggro match. Let's see how we're sighted. Metacarpus nodes and Tunic. Blizzards, channels, wildfires are in. Sigils make a lot of sense in this go wide aggro matchup. Brain freezes, yep, yep, yep. I think this all makes a lot of sense. Let's go. Oh, we would love to be going first. Free frost axes are so good. Crown of Seeds Briar. AB1 and Crown of Seeds I agree with. Giving up snaps or creepers for Northern Boots is an interesting choice. So we're looking at like 2.5 arcane barrier. Interesting, just passing. No rewind. I think rewind is more meme than good against Briar. And it's basically just in right now for Blood Rush Bellows, 3 of a kinds, and wizard matchups, I believe, Sergey. I'd have to go back and talk to Kablamo about it more. So our opponent has a 5-card hand. We simply cannot allow that. So probably not developing this hex either. So let's brain freeze them and see what they got. Wow, that's a blue hand. Autumn's Touch, Force of Nature, Tome of Harvests, and E-Strike. I'm not sold on either Mirage, but I think it's a meme, but since it's in the deck already. Yeah, this looks like we are going to take the E-Strike and force them to tome to try to dig for an attack action card. Just like Autumn's Touch isn't a real attack, let's be honest. Present to arcane. Yeah, Rewind eats alive, and they pitch their other attack action. They're very confident that they can draw an attack off of the Stone Harvests, and I hope it works out for them. We don't have any non-attacks to play, so we're going to Arsenal the Sink, just in case they have like overpower dominate shenanigans. Draw to, oh my god, this hand is excellent. It doesn't push any damage, but it's really good. Huh. So choosing to crown instead of tome there? Oh, yeah, because they can just draw back into the E-Strike. Sure, I guess. How do I ban people? I do think that's my first spammer. How do I officially ban them? Hide user on this channel. There we go. Was that really their last stream? I didn't see them while I was streaming. Sorry, Christopher. I'm sure that if you really want to, you can find plenty of streams for things like that. Choosing to draw a card from E-Strike. Okay. So this is just 5. We're going to sink it. Probably going to try to sink into a more impactful card. Not really hitting it. But we give them that important embodiment of Earth, so we're going to be able to play this Channel Lake Frigid on their turn. Maybe on Twitch, yeah. I think we want to develop this chill since we have Channel Lake Frigid to Arsenal, which is going to mitigate their turn. Like, otherwise, our turn is just Coronet Peak. We could play the Channel Lake Frigid. And Coronet them. But that's a lot less sneaky than doing it on their turn. Interesting, they're choosing to Crown of Seeds here. I guess I was just trying to hand fix and get the damage prevention out of it at the same time. Checks out. Okay, this is pretty good. So we get to play the Channel Lake and have a Sigil of Permafrost. And then Arsenal the Amulet, Coronet with the other. You gotta be kidding me. The one turn that we have as E-React we really need to play because it doesn't do anything else. Our opponent has an Exude Confidence. So I suppose we are instead just dumping the Sigil for Waning Moon. We can't afford to block if we went in Arsenal. And to Coronet next turn. I don't remember when everyone was on rainbow sigils. I know Dozer was playing around with them for a hot minute, but I do remember a time when Levi and I were both playing reds and blues for sure. That was a wild time. Card just feels kind of clunky now. Opponent cracks in for 4. Our hand doesn't really do anything. We're gonna arsenal this hypothermia though. Yeah, Christopher, I think most people settled on blues as kind of the least of all the evils, because at the end of the day they are blue pitch, but it's still kind of inflexible sometimes, because you can't just block with them naturally. Speaking of blocking, this doesn't have go again. Our opponent has 2 resources floating, so we really don't want to moon here. Can't keep Channel Lake out unless we Emeritus plus Moon on our turn, pitching Hail and Frosting. Arsenal Hypo. It's not the worst idea. It's just a terrible use of our cards. It's only 4 damage. Alternatively, let's see. If we block for 3, we take 1, they get an Embodiment of Earth. They're to take 1 from Waning Moon, so like we trade life. Coronet them down to 4 cards, Arsenal Hypo. That's probably better. Discarding Star. Yeah. It's probably not going to be on much in this matchup. Where are our Ice Veins? Opponent with Nimblism, going tall, always good against a turn where we try to shut them down with Hypo. And again, the Sink Below is terribly timed as our opponent has the Exude Confidence. The bright side, I suppose, is that we can kind of just block 6, pitch to Coronet, try to blow them out with the Hypo if they can't snap this. This is just not really doing anything, huh? Coronet's not good with their Tunic up, so maybe we're meant to Arsenal this Sink. Let's, first off, let's undo. Oh, I just need to undo blocks. Sorry. Let's keep the good blue in the deck. See if they try to pump this. They're just passing, so they're also using cards inefficiently this turn. But they're signaling, I think, that they don't have a blue in hand, because otherwise they would pump this, right? And then they're just going to end the turn. If we try to swing Moon, they can Tunic Crown. Man, this may just be a, like, Coronet Ether Tunic pass trying to turn. This sucks. We'll see if they try to go any wider. Maybe get some use out of this hypo. Yeah, that's a natural go again attack. Unfortunate. So they played Yellow Ravenous Rebel and revealed Yellow Ravenous Rebel. Interesting. I'm not super interested in blocking a 2-power attack when my opponent has 4 cards still. Okay, so we're seeing all they okay. Huh. At this point, I just want to try to fix this hand with a Sink Blow. I mean, hand's fine. I want to try to draw into an Aether Icing with a Sink Blow. We do. It's a bad color. Yellow Rabble's definitely not standard. Here is a unnatural go again card. So we finally get a little bit of utility out of the hypo. And I ditch the other Yellow Rabble. Not forcing any damage there is rough. Oh, hey guys. We found the Aether Ice Veins. We found too many of them, in fact. Rusted Relic, huh? That is definitely not a standard card. I'm now very interested in this Briar deck. This is exciting to get 3 free damage through and still present a yellow ice vein on our turn. Okay, so the Briar has AB 3.5 now. So blue Incarceration is seeing play in this list particularly for a few reasons. This list is still playing Sigil of Permafrost. So you need some critical mass of 0-cost blue cards, blue non-attack actions to play from Arsenal. Also, this list, because of the Sigil Wildfire interaction, prioritizes getting at least 1 or maybe 2 hexes down. Yeah, so it's a Waning Moon activator, and it also works nicely with the interaction between Wildfire and Permafrost, just like an extra Frostbite. They go down to 1 card. They go down to 1 card. Maybe we're supposed to Moon here. Man, only losing one life from that is so rough, especially considering we don't have a non-attack action. So we can't swing Moon next turn. Yeah, I kind of like the idea of just pushing... Because, like, this Blizzard isn't going to do anything this turn cycle, right? Yeah, exactly, Sergey. This is going to be an extremely sad Aether Wildfire for Vanilla 4, but we're going to technically play it. I promised stream that, I promised chat we would play it, and I guess we kind of are. Coronet just doesn't do anything right now. Actually, this may be Sandbag the Blizzard, Arsenal the Cold Snap. We can still present 6 from Wildfire, Tunic Moon. So it's a bad Ice Bolt. Haha, Tunic on top of Tunic. The classic. Stream's been rough, Levi. We got paired first into a red line Dromai and got absolutely slaughtered. And then we played 2 Rhinars, and they were both very nail-biter games. We're kind of making a comeback. We beat an Azalea, which I really thought was going to be you, and it turned out it wasn't, which is interesting. And now just trying to Dirtling versus a Briar. I think Sergey's right. It feels like the original Iyslander lists. They're kind of like trying to cheat on a little bit more of the wizardy side of things, but they're giving up consistency as a cost for that. I'm not sure where I fall on the spectrum of liking it versus disliking it. I just want to point out that we have 60 reacts. Just 60 reacts, and all 3 exude confidences from our opponent. We've had a D react stuck in hand. Really unfortunate stuff. How greedy can we be? Yeah, presenting the Frostbite is relevant here. We have a lot of blues. Let's be greedy. This is almost certainly a terrible idea. Okay, interesting. So now we want to strangely encourage our opponent to pump this so that we can crack in with Waning Moon for free damage. They are not, so let's close the chain. This means this probably isn't pushing any damage. It is, okay, that's fair. They don't always have the blues in hand. Yeah, Hex is our win con, huh, Sergey? I clearly don't have a ton of experience with this list. What I do know how to do is fuse Aether Ice Veins. There is the other Wildfire. Probably not going to happen this game, to be honest, but we can sink it at least. And there's the channel mount on top of the deck. That's good to know. We also draw into one of our power cards. This is pretty nice. We can Arsenal Channel 8, try to taunt our opponent into playing their heroic, and then really negate how good it is by just responding to Crown with Moon Intentional. Yeah, that was just me spamming Arcane Levi. They had two floating, so I mean, like maybe they misclick and don't like spend that two on the Waning Moon to keep the Crown, but I guess it's technically correct to let the Crown resolve first. We don't have any use for this card in our turn cycle, do we? We're just pitching a Coronet, arsenaling CLF, so we inefficiently block. That is right, Levi. Oh, I see. Waiting until they spend the two on chill, then mooning. Okay. Oh man, Weathervane is in against Briar? That seems impressively greedy. Yeah, I mean, if they're playing a channel mount, I'm playing channel lake. What are we pitching here, though? Weathervane. And we don't have time to put a chill out while Heroic is on the boards. We're to Arsenal Incarceration on our turn. Pitching Bolt. Stitch this chill. They're tunicking. Yeah, that's pretty good. Oh, just end the turn. Maybe we can sneak in one damage here. Yep. Prioritizing Incarceration here, specifically because it's a 2 resource tax, and we want Briar's Channel Mount turn to be as bad as possible. This is not a time where we push damage, especially when we're within 5 life of our opponent. Okay, they have 2 floating, but this means that they need to pitch their last card in hand after this Ravenous Rabble. We still have 2 hexes in deck. Yeah. We went to... So we can Ice Vein on our turn, pitching 2 Ice Stars to keep Channel 8, and Amulet. That would let us develop the Hex with Breathing Room to spare, but it means no blocking this Ravenous Rabble for 7. Ugh, 7's a lot. But it also... Yeah, I don't know that the Hex is that good when our Sigils and Wildfire aren't remotely near each other in second cycle, if I remember right. Which is kind of the combo kill that you're looking for. And our opponent has developed extra AB. So Wildfire is becoming less appealing for sure. Yeah, I'm not thrilled with getting this Hex down actually. Getting Hypo down. But they haven't been relying on Unnatural Go again really. Hypo's not super relevant here. So then the question is keeping Channel 8 out for another turn, and Ice Vein is coming in anyways? I think the answer is no. We'll be able to respond to their Embodiment of Earth with the Cold Snap, and we have an Amulet to back up this turn. I just don't think we're getting 3 life worth out of this Frost Hex. Oh my god. That's brutal. It's not like we were really blocking 7 on this anyways. Channel Mount's dying. But we're going to 9 if we eat this. It's kind of funny. We kind of want them to have an arsenal to get Cold Snap value. And we can't block and have a real turn. Let's see if they give us another red. Yeah, I'm wondering if we do keep CLF. If they give us another red like they did, we are definitely keeping Channel 8 here. Okay. We have Tunica, so Sigil Permafrost isn't the worst here. Still awkward with no arsenal. Search from arsenal. We've only played 1 red Ice Vein, which is very relevant. Oh man, this is just a Rosetta for 2 after this? That's kind of nice for us. think we need the coronet here because it's going to be the last one for a while. We're too low to play this chill. Awkward that our opponent did not get Embodiment of Earth this turn, so we don't get the like free cold snap disruption. Hey, if we're keeping him off CLF, I'm happy. CMH, I'm happy. There's a fused Ice Vein, but there's a Sigil clunking up this hand. The strike mode is go again. They might Tunic in response to our cold snap, but I don't really know what else we're doing here. Not having Tunic up is rough when we're looking to fuse with an Ice Bolt. Maybe we draw into a better ice card to Arsenal. Yeah, there's countering our disruption. That is a much better ice card to Arsenal. At this stage in the game, at least. They're clearly doing something else on this turn. Not sure what. But we're gonna hold our block in case they like present a Snash or something. Bingo. So, kind of awkward when they already have a card to Arsenal. We'd have to give up Coronet essentially if we want to block this out. We're also going to 3 if we don't block this out. We've only seen 2 Channel Lakes. I believe we pitched the third one early on. The question is if we're blocking with Coronet or not. We're definitely fusing this Iceman in hand. I'm not convinced that this Snatch on hit is super relevant when they already have an Arsenal card. Levi, if you just called Dying to Press and it happens, I'm gonna be so disappointed. It's not like we can play around it for the rest of the game. Okay. Now, okay, now that we're in resolution step, now I'm okay if my opponent decides to lightning press their Snatch. No? Oh, okay. Man, only losing 1 from red Ice Veins is pretty brutal, I gotta admit. What did I just do? Why did I not respond to that? Oh, wow. So we continue in hands that have Frost Hex in them, we continue to draw where we just can't afford to actually play the Hex, which is really sad. Just by virtue of Blizzard and the Ammo Device not blocking here. I'm pretty sure, by the way, our opponent has not once this game presented arcane damage, which makes Metacarpus pretty awkward. Hopefully we'll be able to, you know, bump the kill with it, but it's not looking great so far. Again, if we die to press, we die to press, right? Like, yeah, I don't know. So at least eats an extra card. Oh. The stealing 1 damage nonsense is brutal. Okay, let's frostbite them properly this turn. This amulet may eat their arsenal card here. It definitely is, right? So let's make it unsuspicious. They just think that they can just prevent 1, take 2. Yeah. And then frostbite resolves. We go into reactions. This is the best part about Sigil Permafrost, these weird, tricky plays. I think we're meant to Arsenal Emeritus here. Tunic is up, our opponent is getting low. And Hypo has really not been relevant basically the entire game. They've played very few unnatural Druidian cards. We're also... Levi, I gotta be honest, after the games today, I kinda don't miss playing Permafrost. It has been, I think, awkward more often than it has been good. Opponent just attacking for 4. Which happens to be breakpoint. If we push... Are we getting into like kill range? There's... Yeah, it has never been good today, essentially, Sergey, you're right. That next Wildfire is coming up really soon. I'm pretty sure if we play this Emeritus, push some damage, Arsenal the next Emeritus, we might be in business. question is, do they want to give me their last card? The answer is they're using Tunic to prevent 1. I'm happy with that, because now Coronet actually works against them next turn. Interesting choice. Really would prefer to not go to 1. And I doubt Tunic is getting another counter this game, and we need Coronet for next turn. For all of those reasons, we are going to block with it here. This is incredibly awkward, because Blizzard is our only card in hand, but damn do I want to play... Blizzard's our only ice card in hand, but damn do I want to... Yeah, this is a Ravenous Rabble for 1. It's really sad. It's a Blue Autumn's Touch on top of the deck that our opponent can draw into with Crown of Seeds if we try to present significant arcane damage this turn. Kinda want to jump this with Coronet and Blizzard it. Yeah, I think that's what I'm doing here. Just really don't want to go to 1 against a deck that's literally designed to play 0 for 4 breakpoints. Maybe we catch them with 2 reds in hand. And they have to Crown of Seeds draw into that Blue Autumn's Touch. Okay, so they chose to pay. What's their follow-up? Because they have just... Their follow-up is just Rosetta Thorn. So we block, we present 4 next turn. We don't actually get any damage through, but we strip cards from hand, question mark. And then maybe we can kill with the Emeritus on their turn. We'd have to deal like 16 this turn, assuming they have a blue in hand. It's just not happening. Oh, I hate unfused Ice Veins, but if it doesn't deal damage, then it didn't really matter, did it? Diabolic Ultimatum. Well, there's the answer clearly about why I never developed a Frost Hex against my opponent. Maybe they're heavy on reds. Nope. There's the blue. I swear there's a second Aether Wildfire in here somewhere. Yeah, I played around the Diabolic Ultimatum. That's definitely what I was doing. I'm just too big brain. We have 9 resources. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 is 5, 9. Or we could do 4, 6, 8, 9. So we have enough to present exactly lethal. Exactly lethal doesn't win when our opponent has 2 cards in hand though, which is unfortunate. Maybe... Is it finally the turn where we develop a Frost X? Are there any Sigil of Permafrost left in the deck? Is an important question. There is one. I don't think it's not coming until after the Wildfire though. We could block 3 and die to Lightning Press. Present a measly Blue Aether Ice Vein on our turn, and a Waning Moon. Our opponent has to be suspicious at this point. We've been sitting on this Emeritus in Arsenal for a while. Let's die to press. Nope. I don't think our opponent is running Lightning Press. You did just hear Wildfire, We Make Beast, playing around with a brew that some people from the big Discord came up with for Worlds, specifically Alexander Vor and Kablemo, and seeing how it's doing, kind of some unfortunate bad beats so far tonight, but we're trying to pull off one final win here against Briar, preferably with the Titular Wildfire card. This at least demands a blue from their hand. We haven't pushed damage in so long. Oh my god, where are all these diabolical ultimatums coming from? Alright. It's showtime. So we pay 3 to Wildfire in. Here it comes, We Make Best. We pay 3 to Wildfire in. We pay 3 to Emeritus Scolding plus Node. And actually that's what we do first, because we want to taunt our opponent into activating Crown of Seeds. And then before it resolves, we play the Wildfire. Levi, that was a great pun. So we try to do math on if we can afford to Metacarpus both of them. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Hey, look at that. 9 resources in hand. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. We get to Metacarpus both of these, so let's make sure to turn it on. And I don't think we're... Actually, we can let our opponent try to play a card. Like that. Hey guys, that's really good for us. And in fact, we can get... Yeah, so they can't crown anymore, so at most they can prevent 4. But we're going to be tricky, because they don't know that we have the Wildfire in hand. Hopefully they're dead. So we're going to start with Emeritus. Let me do my math again. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Yeah, okay. We'll pitch, trigger Metacarpus, let them see if they have any instants. No. We'll put Moon on top of this. We'll let Moon resolve. And they pitch all their resources. Now before they activate Tunic, oh, we get to do the thing, guys. We're going to Strider while they're out of resources. And Wildfire and pay for Metacarpus. Got him. Emeritus then comes in for 5, 9, 10. They're at 6 with 1 resource. Well, it took 3 hours and 18 minutes, but we got there, guys. And damn, I gotta say, that was pretty fun. I was definitely at the start playing the deck suboptimally, just because it was like new and unfamiliar. Iyslander is always really hard to get adjusted to whenever you pull up a new playstyle with it. But we got there, and I think we finally got to show off like really what the deck is designed to do. That was really exciting. That was really cool. Definitely, Ice Kano, you're totally right. We make best. Um, I cannot think of a better note to end the stream on than that, so I think we're gonna call it with the games. Can we do a deck list? I want to test it for tonight in LGS. Absolutely. So I will copy and post the list here. This is not my list. Shout out to Alexander Vore, aka Unscathed, as well as just a second, Kablama185 from the big fabtcg community Discord, if you're familiar with that, also known as David Spencer. They are the two masterminds behind this deck. They designed it for Worlds, where they expected a lot of AB1, so that they could really try to like prey on those low AB opponents with Wildfire, which like, you know, exponentially gets worse the less AB your opponent has. Wild Bowlander, yes. Very interesting list. Truly hybrid in terms of playing both Wounded Bull and Aether Wildfire in the same 80. Really interesting stuff. Plays very differently from where modern Iyslander has ended up. Plays much more similarly to the traditional Iyslander lists that we were seeing like back during the Road to Nationals season. So it's definitely like a nostalgia trip, but also something new at the same time. It was a lot of fun to play. Very, very unique if you want like a really, like, Iyslander is already one of the weirdest games in the deck. If you want something even weirder, check out this list. But I'm Mezzo, this has been On Hit Effect, and I will catch you next time with more Iyslander gameplay. See you everybody!